G'day, folks. Welcome back to Beeb 42 podcast. And as always, Beeb joining me. How are you, mate?
Good, buddy. How are you? Good to see you again.
Yeah,
How's
mate.
your week?
Very good. Busy at work. We're a bit late with the podcast, but we'll get through it anyway. So,
Yep.
look, bunch of games and some really good ones during the week too. And first game of the week was Titans 20, Storm 34. And
Yeah.
as much as I'm disappointed we lost, I did think we held the middle a lot better than we probably should have.
Yeah, definitely competed. Led at halftime. Tino was certainly very disappointed after the game, right? So it was good to see that they played with a bit more spirit, just didn't have the class to go on with it, right? So, I think unfortunately that's going to be the way it works for the Tits.
Yeah. No, and agree. Look, we never expected to win. Storm didn't had to win, but my big concern is Dave Fafita's effort. It just looked like, we're not going to win, so he's not going to try. So I'm really, really worried about his commitment. But anyway,
he could be the next Ash Taylor.
Yeah, well, thankfully we get rid of that contract and we'll pick up this one. So next game was Raiders 18, Manly 19. What a cracking finish.
It was a good game. In the end, look, I think that Manly deserved to win it. And certainly you would have been cheering on Manly to help the Tits out, right? So been a good start to Friday night footy, right? So a couple cracker games.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And then we finished off with what was the match of the round? Panthers 25, Rabbits 12. And that 11-2 penalty count against me. Seriously?
Look, it was a bit one-sided, but the Rabbits got off to a flyer, right? And that's how I think that if the Rabbits are going to win, that's how they're going to win. Because, they just didn't put enough points on it. They had to put another try on, and I think that they could have busted Penrith, right? But, how good was Nathan Cleary's bombs, right? Josh Mansour, like Mr. Magoo out there, he had no idea what he was looking at when those balls are coming down. So, Panthers showed that, I wrote them off last week. So, bit premature. I think they could go on with it. It's good. We've got 3 teams to win.
Yeah, exactly. And the Rabbits losing by no means counts them out of winning this big game at the end of the season. I thought, given the penalty count, they were super competitive. And if they just keep their cool and don't give away stupid penalties, then they'll be fine. So then we moved on to another game where I was hoping someone would win, but they didn't. Tigers 20, Sharks 50. So that absolutely puts the red pen through the Tigers winning the flag.
I mean, how bad is your defense when the Sharks score 50? Right. So just Tigers are woeful. I feel for Madge, right? You watch those Tigers shows. He's the only one who's trying to show any emotion. The rest of the players are kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. Right? Look, he's in a tough spot, old Madge, right? But Sharkies can't win. They might sneak into the A. You'll hope not, but they're not gonna do anything in September.
Yeah, agree. And I totally agree with your comment about Madge. All the players sit there with their head down, looking at their feet. They couldn't give a toss about what happens next week. It's just amazing, and I wonder whether or not their salaries are too high for them to give a toss. So anyway. Dogs 16, Knights 22. I'd picked an upset for the Dogs to tip the Knights. Part of that was hoping that helped the Titans, but Knights were not impressive.
No, I agree. They weren't very good. But you know what I mean? The Dogs were a bit scrappy, right? They tried hard, which, you've got to love that there's effort there. Just down on class. But yeah, the Knights, what's going on with them, right? So I don't see... like you would have said, Ponga is one of the top 5 fullbacks in the game. If you just look at the list right now, he's just he's very average. He's up there on the same level as Dufty.
He's struggling, and so are the Knights. But and positive.
But they got the win, right?
They got the win. Positive for me, though, is their 7th spot is not secure. So big game this weekend. Eels 2, Cowboys 16. Look, they got the win, but Eels were far from impressive.
Same thing as the Knights, right? Got the win. But you know what I mean? The Eels would have been tight butthole all week, right? Worried about, well, what if we lose this one, right? So they got the win. In the end, it was convincing enough, but it wasn't polished, right? So, you know, they are still a team that's down on confidence. And this week they play the Storm, I think it is, right? So, you know, I think that this week will be a back to earth moment for them, right? So.
Absolutely. And Sivo hurt himself in that game, which is a big out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. He's been pretty disappointing though too, right? He hasn't really done much.
No doubt. You know, so. Far from his best.
Yeah.
Still, I'd have him on our wing. But all right, Dragons 22, Roosters 40. What do you got to say about that? And then Dragons lose another hooker.
Well, you know, leading 16-14 after around 60 minutes, I think. You know, so really thought that they were a chance of going on with that, and then they just capitulated with 3 tries in 10 minutes, right? So very disappointing. No heart, no ticker, those boys. Losing another hooker. Well, you know, they've now got a Chook coming in as hooker for this week. But yeah, look, I think there's enough there with the young kids for me to be happy, right? But you know, some of the more experienced players just are showing nothing, right? You know, so DeBellin, you know, I really expected him to be better than what he is right now. So very disappointing.
Yeah, I agree.
But the Chooks, how yeah, Tedesco, crazy off the charts, right? You know, if Tedesco didn't play that game, then the Dragons win it easy, right? So, look, he's just superstar class, isn't he, right? You know, so.
Yeah, if anyone had any doubts about still, even with Tommy Turbo, the best fullback in the game, I put my money on Teddy every day of the week.
Yep.
So,
yep.
And then the final game of the round, I think we both picked this, but Broncos snuck home 24-22 over the Warriors.
Yeah, well, you know, tight game. Yeah, we did both pick it. Yeah, the Warriors will miss that one, right? You know, so basically eliminated them now, right? So bit of a shame because, you know, they've been a good story, the Warriors, you know, so they've had some tough times and it would have been nice to see them sneak into the 8.
Yeah, look, not at our expense, but the thing that worries me is Milf had a great game, one of his best in, I don't know, 2 years. Like, where the heck has that been? And he's been on a million. How can you pull that out? Like,
well, I guess he's trying to show what he's got, right? So
a new contract.
But you know, he's already signed for next year, so there's no more money.
That's it. So it was surprising he'd already signed and then pulled this out. But anyway, so look, speaking of the Warriors season done, we're going to look at the ladder now, and there it is. Mate, all the teams on 18 are a chance. Sharks have got the Broncos and Storm. Raiders have got the Warriors and the Roosters. And the Titans have got the Knights and the Warriors. So someone's going to finish on 22 guaranteed. But if one of these teams, the Warriors, Dragons, or Tigers, can win 2, it is not out of the question.
Yeah, the problem is they're for and against. It's going to go against them, right? You know, so I mean, that's where I think that the Sharks and the Tits are in a much better position. You know, you've got 80 points difference between the Tits and the Dragons for and against, right? So, and you know, I haven't seen enough from the Dragons to expect that they could score 80 points in 2 weeks of football, right? So I think you're pretty safe. I think you're pretty safe there, right? Even though, yeah, it is mathematically possible, but you know, I just I don't see it being anyone other than the Sharks, Titans, and Raiders as a chance for 8th spot.
Yeah, well, it makes sense that they're the three teams fighting it out, but yeah, I've run all the scenarios through, and I've still got the Titans making it, even if they lose to the Knights this weekend, which is a little bit surprising for me. But anyway.
Well, I think that, I mean, Sharks play the Storm in the last round.
Yeah.
So, I just hope that the Storm don't rest 15 players so that they're ready for week 1 of the finals.
Well,
that would really piss you off.
They've already been resting players all the way up.
Yeah, so true.
Maybe they don't do it this year.
Yeah.
So, and the Roosters can't afford to rest anyone against the Raiders. So who knows? Who knows? I don't think even this weekend confirms who's making it and who's not. So anyway, mate, we'll talk about next week shortly, and we'll get into that. So thanks for your feedback, mate.
No worries. All right, guys, take care. Enjoy the footy.